What's up, y'all? What's up on this faithful, fun Friday night? It is night. Yes, it is night. Yes. Today was such a blessed day. Such a blessed day. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. It was such an accomplished day, too. I accomplished everything that I set out to do, everything that God put on my schedule for me to do. I accomplished it, and I feel good about that, of course, with his help, and the Lord gets all the glory. So all the glory belongs to you, oh God. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. But anyways, y'all, listen. There are times when God will give you a blessing in disguise. And I'm trying to explain this the best way I can, okay? It'll be a blessing in disguise. It'll be a covered up blessing, okay? There are times when God will give you something, a position, a job, a friend, an opportunity, a spouse, a potential spouse or whatever. He will give it to you, but when it comes, it won't look like a blessing, if that makes any sense. To you in the natural, you'll be like, really, Lord, are you sure, Lord, this position you want me to take? Like, okay. Or Lord, you sure this the opportunity you want to give me? Is this real opportunity? Like, it don't look like that. I don't like the opportunity. They don't like what I prayed for. Or you sure this the person, Lord, you want me to be friends with? Or this the person you want me to court to possibly marry one day? You for real, Lord? You know, you'll be questioning God like, are you sure? Because see, it don't look like what you think. It don't look like the opportunity that you was expecting. It don't look like the spouse that you was expecting. It doesn't look like the job or the position or the promotion or whatever that you was expecting. But let me tell you something. God has a way of wrapping blessings up in unusual wrappings, if that make any sense. Where the outside it looks like, oh God, I don't know about this, but underneath all of that, oh my God, nothing but greatness, nothing but opportunities, just amazement underneath all of that. Underneath all of that, there's a blessing underneath it. Oh, y'all, listen. When God sends something your way, when God opens a door, I don't care what that door looks like. On the outside, you better walk through it because you don't know what's on the other side of that door. When God bless you with that person, and they, child, they ain't even got this. They look like, child. Tell you something. If God sent them folks, you better forget what's on the outside. You better look within, and you better trust God, baby, because God know how to clean folks up. Do you hear me? He know how to fix them up. It's always what's underneath the surface, honey. It's always what's on the inside. It's like a child on Christmas Day or on their birthday, honey. I don't care how you held that present wrapped up. It can be a hot mess. Looking a mess how you got that present wrapped up. Them kids don't be stunning that mess, honey. They trying to see what's inside of that. You know what I'm saying? And inside, underneath that wrapping. So they come and tear that mess up to see what's on the inside. And they be so excited about that. You better get excited like that. Start thanking God, because inside of that, what you think is not an opportunity, honey, is a big opportunity. So you better take that position. It may look small, but it'll turn to something great. Be grateful for it. That person may not look like what you was thinking or what you was expecting, but you better take it, because underneath all that you see on the outside, honey, there's something so amazing on the inside. You won't know there's an opportunity in that. You better take it. That house may look all tore up on the outside right now. Like, ooh, but baby, you better take it if God giving it to you. But yep, that house may not look like all that good on the outside now. Maybe having trash all around in the yard. The grass may be taller than the house. You know, may need some work done. But let me tell you something. If you have a vision from God, baby, you better see the vision. And don't see what you see in the now, but you better look into the future and look into the later. It was this young lady one time I had to, I did Lyft for a week. That's the time when I had my, before I got my new car. And it was my truck. My truck had, started acting up on me. So at the time, I was taking Lyft to work for just for a week because my truck was in the shop at the time. My truck I had, I still got my truck, gave it to my son, but I didn't have my new vehicle at the time. I just had the truck. And so it was this young lady, and she was on the first day, it was on Monday. She was the Lyft driver that picked me up. And so she just started talking to me, man. She was just telling me all about her life story. I mean, it was just a blessing, y'all. When I tell you, I sold into that too. I said, girl, listen, I'm about to sow into this because I know that God gonna bless me too, and he did too. But anyway, she was just saying with her husband, she had married this guy, had a big old 5-bedroom home. He already had this before they met, because he had been, married before he had got divorced. And he was still living in the house, that he had with his ex-wife. And she was like, I don't want to be living in the house where, another woman have lived. I want to build my own family. I want to have my own legacy with you or whatever. So she said for years, they just lived in a little condo, a 1-bedroom. And he still had that house that, he had with his previous wife. He still had it, but they just weren't living it because she said she didn't want to live in that house. Which I understand that or whatever. So they stayed in a little condo for 5 years until she was finally able to convince him I want to get our own house or whatever. So he's like, you know what? Okay. So finally he sold that house that he had, with his ex-wife. He sold that house and trusted her with the money that he got from the house that he had sold that he had with his ex-wife. That young lady took that money. She went and found this house. Guess what? Another 5-bedroom house somewhere out in, I think she said in Stone Mountain. I think she said somewhere out there. Wait, I'm thinking that she said that. And she said she was a visionary. She was from New York. I never forget that she was from New York. And she said, I was a visionary, She said, I grew up in the projects, baby. You know what I'm saying? I could take anything and turn to something, and turn to the best. She said, yeah, we lived in the projects, baby, but it was fixed up. My mom had everything fixed up when we grew up. They knew how to make the best, out of things in life. She just knew that. That's how she grew up. So she said, she went and purchased this home. Now, she said when she got it, it needed a lot of work done. It needed a lot of work done to it. And said at first she was scared to show her husband, but she's like, you know what? He gonna have to learn how to trust me. So said she, drove into the neighborhood. When you first drive into the neighborhood, it was a gated community or whatever, all the other houses at the front looked very nice. But when you started getting to the back, those were some of the house back there. Is the house that people were, trying to get rid of, and people were fixing them up. And one of the houses happened to be the one that she purchased. So she said when she pulled up in the yard, her husband, he was an older guy. He was older than her, whatever. So, he was well established, and she was just, in college at the time, trying to get, herself established or whatever. She was going to college and she was working. But she had herself, she was getting there. She's a very smart, very wise woman. She was younger than him. And she said when they pulled up in the yard, he was like, who stay here? And she was like, just come on in, just come look at the house. He was like, no, who house is this? She was like, this the house I bought. He was like, you bought this junk? I sold my house and gave you the money that you buy this? Are you kidding me? She was like, listen, you gotta trust me on this. Trust me, I know what I'm doing. So they walked inside the house, and he was just like, oh, this just, you gotta be kidding me. He was so mad at her. She was like, you gotta trust me. Just give me a couple of months. I promise you, it's going to look totally different. He was like, you know what? Okay. All right. What up? So he went back and sat in the car. He was like, I'm just sit in the car because they don't need me looking around this house no more. So they got in the car and they went on by their business, whatever. And so I think she said about 5 months passed by. She took him back to that house. He was like, what in the world? Like, is this the same house? She was like, yeah, I told you to trust me. Like, baby, I'm glad I did trust you. So she took that house that looked at a mess at the time. But yeah, but she took that house, baby, and she flipped that mug, and it was a 5-bedroom house, the same amount of rooms that he had in his last house that he had with his wife. I mean, ex-wife. 5-bedroom. I mean, she took it and she said she hooked that house up. And he was like, you know what? From now on, I'm going to trust you. I would trust you. I know that I can trust you. You did your thing, baby. I mean, she had done hooked that house up. You hear me? But what if he would have been like, you know what? No, I'm not going to waste my money on this. Go get my money back or whatever. No, I'm not going to do this. You know what I'm saying? But he had to trust. He had to, trust her. She said, trust me. I promise you, I got this, So you can't look at things in the beginning and be like, are you sure this is a blessing? Ugh, this don't look good. I'm saying God has a way of fixing things up and helping you to fix things up. You hear me? He has a way of doing it, but you got to trust him. You got to trust him. And to the point where the money that he had got off of selling the last home that he had, the woman, when she bought this house right here, they had extra money left over. That's just how smart she was. That's just how wise she was. And she was like, babe, I got money left over. He told her, you know what? Babe, I love you so much. Because what you did, because of what you did, and you using the wisdom that God gave you, and you hooked us up, you take that money to go buy you a brand new car. She went and bought her a brand new car. A brand new, at the time it was 2019, a brand new 2019. She got a Honda. Nice car. And I was riding in it because she was my Lyft driver, taking me to work. Nice car. Took it and went and bought her a car with it. So I'm telling you, don't judge what you see for now on the outside. God has a way of fixing things up. Don't judge that position that you got now. It may look small now, but guess what? God may place you in that very position so that you can be seen by the right people, so that you can learn everything you need to learn in that little small position. So when it's time for you to get promoted, you get promoted over everybody. God has, I'm telling you, y'all. Ooh, I know. I'm not telling you something I heard. I'm telling you what I lived. I'm telling you. So don't judge it. Don't judge it. God has a way of getting things done. Don't judge that person by what you see now. Especially that person, willing to work with you. They willing to, do their best and try their best to become the best. And they consistent at it. They may not have all that right now, but you see them working it and they trying. Don't judge them. Because you don't know who that person going to become, honey. You never know. You don't know what God is going to do through that person. You don't know how he's going to transform that person's life. You don't know. So don't look at it for what you see now and push it away. Because you can be pushing away that blessing. Now, there's certain things and certain people that you know that God has told you, like, this ain't it. I got something better. Sorry. And the only way for you to receive it, you got to walk away from this or walk away from that. You pray and you ask God for discernment, okay? But if you know that God has placed you at that job or God has put you in that position, God has had you to buy a home in that neighborhood or buy that particular house, if God has had you to meet this particular person, you know that God did it. Don't judge it by how it looks now, because God has a way of turning things around. There's something great on the inside. Don't judge the outside and then walk away. But watch what God can do on the inside. He'll turn that thing around and you'll be blessed. All right? Y'all be blessed on this